does too. So let's get started. And now I am going to switch my views and look at that. Perfect. I love it. So this is the clean and simple card we're going to make. All right, so I'm going to move that up there. It's taken me a little bit of time to get used to how far I have, but I know that I can see the whole thing. All right, the first card for our cards today, I decided to use Floral Essence, and I used this image and this leaf. I needed a sentiment, and I didn't really care for any of those in there for this, so I went to my old favorite, Butterfly Gala, and I have a little note. I love that stamp there. I have to clean it up real good because it doesn't want to stick. So the first thing we need to do is we need to take our card base, and all dimensions will be posted. All right, so I think I fixed it now, but we'll see. All right, so all the dimensions will be posted when we're done. So I folded my card base in half, and I'm going to take some Real Red, and I'm going to stamp my flower up at the top. And as a hint, what you want to do, I want to put this flat because if I don't, it's liable to pop up. All right, you want to set your stamp up so you have one petal up and two down. All right, then you ink your stamp up again, and I'm lining up the center, but this time I have two petals at the top and one at the bottom, and I get that. And then I'm going to do the same thing over here. I'm going to stamp it. The only thing you have to worry about is making sure you don't go up too high. And I may not have gone up high enough, so this one will be a little lower. All right. Then I'm going to take, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm looking at my center and stamping. All right. To get my leaves in, you need to do some masking. So I have two. You have to, unfortunately, cut out two of these because you've got 6 petals to deal with. All right. And that's got a sequin stuck under it. I'll have to get out. Let's see if I can get it out with my pokey tool. It's got a heart sequin stuck under there. There it is. Goodness gracious, don't know where that came from. I haven't used heart sequins in quite a while. All right, so to do my leaves, I took, after I masked it, and I'm going to add, I think I'm going to go up this way with this one because if I don't, I'm not going to have space for them there. Oh, I didn't re-ink these. That one's going to be... All right, I gotta, let's see if I can get my last one in there. I'll go over here with this one. There, that's a little darker. All right, and then I'm gonna move my mask. I just have to remember to, I'll leave these out when I finish so I don't put them away, and that way, see, do I have any more comments? All right, nobody else has commented, so I don't know if I fixed it or not. So we'll find out. All right, so I'm going to add my leaves here. I'm going to add one down this way. And I think I'm going to add one over here today. All right, so then I'm going to take my pieces off, my masks off, and my flowers are done. I want to put these somewhere. I don't want to set them down to get stuff all over them, but I need my sentiment. So I'm going to go back to my Real Red and my favorite little sentiment, and I'm going to stamp it down here in the corner. And there's your clean and simple card. I'm going to show you how I stepped this one up. All right. So I went from that to this. I punched out my images, I added a ribbon and some layers. So let's get this one put together. I set that there. All right, now to save time, I went ahead and I punched or stamped my images. So I'm going to punch them out. If you have this punch, these images can be punched out with this punch. It's not a perfect fit, but it sure does save having to fussy cut them. And that's what I do, is I put it in there, and as you can see, there's white space all the way around, and so I just punch them out with this, because as far as I'm concerned, this is good enough. It saves having to all right, I took off all settings on the comments, so if you guys want to try commenting and seeing if it works, you should be able to now. All right, so I punched those out. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to punch out, I'm going to close this ink up because I don't need the green ink anymore, and I will put something in it. Linda, it was around for a while. All right, now I'm going to punch out my flower pieces. So then you might be able to comment now without having to do the 100 characters. Hopefully that worked. I just don't know why my comments aren't scrolling up. Okay, that one scrolled up, so maybe it fixed itself. Who knows? All right, I'm going to punch out that last one. All right, so now I have all my pieces punched. And to give your flower some movement, I took my pokey tool and I put it down the center and I just curled the one side up. I held it in the center and just curled up. Just because it kind of gives it some depth without adding a lot of, I guess, stuff. Here's my other one. I did try on the other one, curling them the other way, so you'll be able to see that. Excuse me, I wanted to show you the different ways that you can curl these. I do not see my glue dots. I need my glue dots. Where did my glue dots go? All right, let me grab them from my other table. Here we go. All right, now we're going to put this together. And what I do is I take and put a glue dot in the center. And be very careful when you pick this up because you don't want to rip them. And again, one petal up, two down, and then two up and one down. And set it down in the center and push. All right, now you have to kind of finagle the flower because you curled them. There. All right, now to add my leaves. I can't pick anything up today. And I put my glue dot close to where the petals start. And the reason being is that gives me lots of space to add it. If you add it too close to here, you're going to rip it when you take it off. Right. So I'm just adding my flowers where I want, or my leaves, I should say. You can manipulate the placement. Also, you want to put it on the front of the stamped image, because if you don't, the blue dot's on the wrong side. All right, so we got our flowers made. Let's get our card put together. So I took a piece of 3 5/8 by 5 1/8, and I'm going to attach it to a piece of 3 3/4 by 5 red. Now, this is 4 7/8 long. The dimensions will be posted. I try and remember, but I can't always. All right. Just stuck my hand in the glue. Right. The next thing I'm going to do is I pulled out some real red cotton ribbon that I had. This may be retired and it may still be in the catalog. I don't know. I don't know if the cotton ribbon is still in there. I know that they had red in the holiday catalog. But as you can see, I have a ton of this left, so I was using that. So any red ribbon you have will work. I'm going to take my backs off. And what I did was I put down my ribbon and stamped my sentiment before I put my flowers on, because then I knew how to place them. If you put your flowers on, you may put it at the wrong spot, and then you won't have space for your ribbon or your sentiment. So I do it that way. All right. Cover this up. So I'm sandwiching my ribbon between my sticky tape, my double-sided tape, because I want to make sure it stays stuck down. I'm going to attach that to the same color and size card base that we had before, Whisper White, that is 5 1/2 by 8 1/2, and it's scored at 4 1/4. All right, I'm going to take my backs off. Oops, no, I'm not. Before I do that, I'm going to stamp my sentiment, because I want to be able to have a good flat surface. Now I'll take my backs off and add it to my card base. One. And I did burnish those, but they don't want to come up. All right, there we go. I'm going to add some glue. I've got like 3 things of glue over here all upside down in hopes that I'm using it all up. All right, so I'm going to add this, and this has a larger border than we normally do, but I'm kind of liking the larger border for a change. All right, only thing we have left to do is to add our flowers, and how I did that was I put a dimensional on the one leaf, a dimensional in the middle, and a dimensional on the other leaf, so that it just kind of went in a line. So I'm going to do the same thing here. There's that. There's that. All right, so take my backs off. Oh, be careful. Watch it when you do that. I didn't hold it in the right spot, and you can rip your leaf off. There we go. So you got to kind of hold it where the leaf and the stem are, so you don't rip the stem. All right, now I can add my flowers. So I'm going to add that one there. And I'm going to add this one kind of tucked in like so. And it's okay if it goes off. It gives some interest. And then I wanted to take this to the next level a little bit. So it needed some centers. I pulled out, now I know these are retired, but this is the last I have of the silver. So I thought, well, these would be perfect in there. Okay, so I added my centers and it's done. And now, get ready, ladies. I said at the beginning, this was my favorite of all three, this wow card. I don't know why. All right, wait a minute, I showed you the card too soon. Oh, there it is. I love this card. I had so much fun with this one. It was like I really wanted to take it over the top, and I think this one did it. So I went from this to this. So I changed my card base, and I had to do something with the flowers. So I took the buffalo check and I stamped a piece of real red. All right. And then all I did was I stamped my leaves. So I'm going to take and punch out my leaves. Like so. I don't know why it's not scrolling for comments. Oh, there's still static. Oh, but the static is less now? Well, that's good. It might be, I think it's my computer, and I have to ask Catherine. She may not be able to help me because she doesn't have a Mac. So, but she might know about the static. All right. Then I took my flower punch and I just punched out 4 of those. All right. And now we're going to put our flowers together. And what I did with these is I curled one. This one is curled up and down, whereas the other one, and you'll see in a minute when I put the other one back up there, all of them up there, you'll see. One is kind of, the petals are twisted, and the other one, the petals are curled. So you can see the difference. All right. So there's that. And I need my glue dots. So I'm going to take the one that's curled up, put a glue dot on the back, oops, and center it like so. And then the same thing, use the one that's curled up on the top. And line it up. And now we can add our leaves. So I'm going to take a leaf, same way, on the front side of the leaf. Oops, I missed a glue dot. And add your leaf in. Go back and pick this one up. And sometimes, oh, there's a glue dot stuck there, I missed. Sometimes you can, the glue dot will come off on your finger, and sometimes it doesn't, but just stick your fingernail underneath and pull up on it. Don't try and pull it off. If it doesn't come off on your finger, just take your fingernail and kind of pop it off. Okay. All right, there's the flowers. Now, to step this one up, I took a piece of 4 by 5 1/4 and the subtle embossing folder, and I ran it through my Big Shot. All right, I'm going to add that to a piece of Real Red that's your normal card size. I say normal, but it's normal for us. It's not normal for Europe and Australia. All right, and then I'm going to take and add some tear and tape on this all the way around to stick it down. So what do you think of the buffalo check flowers? Isn't it a cute idea? I was like, ooh, I gotta try this with some other colors. So I haven't decided what I'm gonna do on the blog next week. Maybe I'll do something like this. I've been trying to link all 3 cards together in some form. So, all right, got that on. Now it's time to take off my backs. I'm going to burnish these in real good. There's one. 2. I know that the sound is coming from my computer, and I don't know how to muffle it. I don't know. I think it's because it's running a program. Might be something I have to Google to find out. All right. Okay, so I've got that on. Now we're going to do the panel the same way we've always done it. All right. So this is going to go on here, but before I put it on there, I'm going to stamp my sentiment and I attach my ribbon here because I used Fun Foam on the back of this to pop it up. Too many dimensionals. So I'm going to stamp my sentiment and I'll attach my ribbon to the white. Now, if you want to use put your ribbon on here, then don't put your Fun Foam on until you've layered your 2. But since I've got that on there, I'm going to do it this way because I want to make sure that I get it sandwiched good. And I have not had good luck with tear and tape sticking to the Fun Foam, so I don't want to take any chances that it's not going to stick. So I'll add my ribbon first. There we go. I know, Barb, I love this idea, and I'm thinking, I may need to try some of this with some others. I think it's better if you have flowers that layer, and I may see what flowers I have and then use different backgrounds for texture. Okay. Add some tear and tape on the back. I don't know what other flower sets I have that layer. I'd have to see. I don't know. I'm thinking, I don't know if the one I used the other day has different, I know you stamp it in layers, but I don't think it cuts out different size layers. And that's what the good one would be. Now I'm getting messages. All right. That might be my notice. Michaela called me right as I went live. So, all right, so I've got that. Now, I'm going to put this on, And like I said, I added the fun foam on the back. And when I cut my fun foam, this piece was 3 3/4. The red piece is 3 3/4 by 5. So what I cut my fun foam to, hold on, I can't talk and watch my placement. I want to make sure I get this in the right spot. There. I'm pulling my big block to hold it in place. I cut my fun foam, it was 3 3/4. I cut it at like 3.5 by 4 3/4. So 1/4 of an inch smaller. All right. Now let's add our dimensionals to the back, okay, of our flowers. So there's one there, one there. What I also like about this program is the fact that, oh, I just dropped a dimensional. I don't know which way it went on my floor. I can use my whole work surface, whereas before I couldn't. There was always a piece out. Oh, good, it landed the right way. Landed so that it was, the sticky side was up, because I thought, oh, I'll be scraping that off my floor. All right, I'm going to take my backs off. And remember to hold right there on your, right next to the dimensional when you're popping these things off, so you don't rip the leaf off. Here lately, they don't want to stay on my pokey tool. I don't know why. All right, I'm going to take this off. I think it's adhered enough. All right, and then I'm going to, oops, I want this one first. I'm going to add this one up here like so. And I'm going to add this one here like so. And then I didn't have enough silver, and the silver really didn't look good on this. So I have a bunch of the gold ones, same thing, left. I have all of these left. So I decided to pull out the gold ones and add a gold one. And you could very easily change that sentiment to say Merry Christmas. And you've got a great Christmas card. All right, come on. There. Without having to, and there's the wow one, but I love that. And now let me pull in the others so you can see. I went from clean and simple to stepped up to wow, and see the difference. These were curled, and these were like, well, twisted, and these were curled. So you can kind of see the difference. I kind of like the twisted. I love this check idea. It's my favorite, and I will be doing it again. So I may be doing it on my blog because I just love it right now. I wanted to do something that wasn't Christmas. So, I mean, I didn't think this was Christmas, but like I said, you could easily change the sentiment, and it could be a Christmas card. It'd be a gorgeous card to send out. But there's the cards for today.